So, broke down and bought a trailer finally. After renting them a whole bunch of times last year, I thought I might as well get one. I'll be using one for a while. So far, so good. That's the first real hauling I've done with it. I've made a few little mods. Put some deck sealer on it just to keep the deck nicer. This thing has a great toolbox. I like it, but I put on the weather seal just to keep it tighter, and then put in an old floor mat, keep things from rattling around. And then I threw that light in there, picked it up from Harbor Freight. I figured I'll be out here at night sometime. I won't have a flashlight or anything, and I'll be digging around. So I'm going to do that, and then one thing I'm going to do on top of the toolbox lid, throw some bed liner on there. I'm sure I'm going to be walking on that at some point in time. So, but what I'm bringing in the chipper, my little dump trailer, and a box blade. I've got a project or two around the house that these things will come in handy with, and so forth. I just got done loading them up, haven't got them strapped down yet. So let's take a walk, see what's going on out here. So the center section, where there's more green and I don't know, these flowers, that's just regular old, grass, probably Kentucky 31, something like that. I'll probably scratch this up and throw some more seed down here in just a little while. And then on the north and south sides, those are native grass plantings, about 18-ish acres overall, something like that. So at the end of January, my son and I came out and we burned it off. And primarily the reason we did it, this is the first year, or this was planted about a year ago in native grasses. Normally you wouldn't burn it the first year, but I had such a bloom of foxtail and barnyard grass in August, September that we decided to burn it just to try to control that a little bit better this year. I actually think I had an excellent stand of native grasses. You can kind of see here the orientation where I drilled it last year and so forth. So I think we had a good stand, and what I was pretty happy with it. I will tell you, as intense as that fire was, it blows my mind that any of this foxtail still stands. It really does. But it is what it is. And so all the carbon is either blown away or soaked in, but you don't see much black anymore. A little bit here and there. So I'm real interested to see how it comes along this year. Last year I mowed it several times, probably once every 3 weeks, and honestly I think I would have been well served by doing it every 2 weeks or even more frequently. Probably would have gotten a little better control over the foxtail just by mowing, but again, kind of a losing battle there, so I don't know if it would have mattered. So my hope is, as the perennial grasses get more established, that there's just less opportunity for the annuals to get going. I don't think that's going to happen till probably 2 years from now, is my guess. Got some critter dens out here, and I'm not too sure what they are. Ground squirrels maybe, wood rats maybe. I think wood rats would have built a a stick house. There's a few of those around. They were living the life though when they had cover. Now they might be a little more nervous. Quite a few red-tailed hawks around here and other avian predators and coyote, so might have made those folks happy. Yeah, you know, not a whole lot to see out here right now, I gotta tell you. It has rained. It's pretty dry right now. It's rained a fair amount here in the last month. We're at this is April 1st actually. And we are we've had a few good rains in March. And so I can see there's definitely still foxtail seed around because I can see where it's pooled up with the rain and so on. So quite a lot, unfortunately. But I do plan on mowing it again this year. Probably less frequently, I think. We'll just see how it goes. You know, I've not done this before, so I'm no expert. But I will say, I think I would have mowed it more often, knowing what I know today. So, and there's another one of the critter dens. Yeah, this one's not seen much activity for a while, doesn't look like. Beautiful day. Cannot complain about that. And another critter den. So whatever they are, there's a few of them. And there's another one there. And another one over there. Yeah, whatever they are. They're not lacking in population. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, a little bit of activity around here. So I don't know. I don't know what those are. There's two more. But they found this place pretty quick because I haven't, when this was in soybeans, these guys weren't out here in the soybean field. And they're definitely here now. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 of them, 8 from where I'm at, and I'm not trying too hard. So they had some cover with the grasses, and they thought it looked like home. That's for sure. There's another one, 9, 10. So we'll when I start coming out here more often, I'm sure I'll get to see one, and we'll figure out what they are for sure. But like I said, they about the cover, I'm sure they're a lot more cautious about coming out in the daytime. And the Cox and Allen's probably are digging it. There's another good sized one right there. Warren, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Another small one. So that was probably if I walked the entire field, I bet you I'd find 15, 20 of those things. There's a wood rat population around here. They're kind of native to this part of Kansas. and they're also called pack rats. That's a real thing, pack rat. You can kind of see my mowing tracks there. I think you can see it on the camera. Probably the last time I mowed. I've got an old 12-foot Massey Ferguson rotary cutter. And I picked it up pretty cheap relative to what a 12-foot rotary cutter would cost you new. Well, in fact, dirt cheap relative to that. And the thing works pretty darn good. Changed the oils on it, greased it up. Needed tires, so I put new tires on it. There's 3 more dents. And the only problem I had with it, I did have a flat. And the bead came loose. I don't know how it happened. So I tubed it, called it a day. Been good ever since. What do we got here? Chunk of wood. There's some spots in this field where there's some pretty decent amount of erosion going on. So I'll come out sometime this year and try to get that under control a little bit more until this grass gets established. I kind of hate to see that because when it, we can have 2-3 inch rains all in one shot. And when that happens, you would be amazed at the amount of water that's running out of this field. It's not flat, but it's not, super steep by any stretch of the imagination. But when we get a rain like that, there's just a ton of water. And I've been out here in those rains, and man, oh man, it'd blow your mind. So I want to do a little bit of dirt work for some erosion control. Part of the idea here, I bought this place mainly for some recreation. I didn't have any plan to farm it. When we bought it, the neighbor was farming it, which he did for about 3 years with us, and that was fine. Good guy, really like him actually. Took good care of the place and so on, but really I'd like to establish some native grasses, some habitat and so forth, and see what comes of it. There's another den. Yeah, there's a good 20 of them, I'd say. And so that, and I enjoy. Many years ago, we farmed, and my grandfather was a farmer, and my dad was actually an engineer. He obviously grew up farming, but he bought a farm, and we farmed that. I grew up living in the city, but working on the farm all the time, and I loved it. And I missed it. So that's part of the reason for buying this place. Gives me a reason to own a tractor or two. It gives me a reason to get outside and do things. None of this stuff is absolutely critical, but I like it. And I've got a lot of little projects, some little, some big, that I got in store here. Built a barn last year, but I don't have a road. Well, I got the start of a road, I should say. So I put in a culvert down there because that was always washing out. Still need to do a little work on that. And we graded this section out here on up to the barn. And I just brought out some road fabric. I guess technically that was the first load on the new trailer. We'll put that down. With any luck, if it stays dry here into next week, I might get that fabric down, get some rock on this. Sure would be helpful, because when it's raining, and it will for the next couple of months, it's this stuff that's super hard right now is muddy. So probably in the last video I told you guys I burnt down my swimming pool. So I got to clean that up. So what we did last year, so the lake here is a reservoir for a nearby town, and they don't allow swimming in the lake, which is kind of a, I don't know, a bummer, let's say. Well, we swim in it anyway, let's just say. Well, somebody didn't like that, so I got a letter from the county attorney telling us not to swim in the lake anymore. So that last year I thought, well, we'll fix that, we'll build a swimming pool. And so I'd got these big square bales, and then we stuck a pretty heavy tarp in there and filled it full of water and stuck a pump and a filter on it, and you know what, worked pretty good. I got to tell you, it worked really good. And we had kids, and the wife had a lot of fun in it. So or my daughter and her friends, they enjoyed it, so it was worth it. I'm not going to get into tractors too much. I bought that one new. I got to tell you, I really like it. It's a Massey Ferguson 2605H, 55 horsepower, and I like that tractor so far. And then I've got this 2N, and the 2N I got mainly because that's the first tractor, well, a 2N is the first tractor I ever learned to drive, and so it's kind of nostalgic. In fact, this one looks a lot like the one we had. Somebody had painted it red and gray too at some point. That one had one we had when at first, that one had a Sherman overdrive on it. This one has an overdrive. It's on the other side. I don't know who made it. So here's one of those pack rat houses. So they are pretty incredible, actually, and pretty frustrating because before I had the barn, I parked the bulldozer outside. Well, year before last, they came out to get it going and do some work, and they had entirely packed that thing full of sticks. I mean, everywhere you could put a stick on that, they put a stick. And it took me 3 hours to unpack that thing, and I'm sure I didn't get them all, but it was pretty bad. So this is the west edge of our property right here. There was a road, abandoned road that went down through here. The lake is man-made, so when they built the lake, that kind of cut off the road, obviously, and so there was kind of a road to nowhere. They vacated it, and so that's where it's at today. Yeah, nothing a whole lot to see here yet, Let me get in another month. It'll change quite a bit, but not a lot to see out here right now. You can see the barnyard grass stubble, that stuff, man. And there's lots of seeds. That's a bummer. Oh, hey, there's a water bottle I lost when I last fall All right, survived the fire too. What do you know? I'll take it home. This is one of those areas that's eroding a fair amount, and then there's a little line of surviving grass over there. You can see the same thing happened, and same thing is happening. Quite a bit of erosion there. So, like I said, I do plan on coming out and doing a little erosion control work. Try and keep some of the soil out of the lake and on the property instead. So, well, I think I'm gonna go get everything strapped down, put everything away, head for home, and so on. There's another den. Well, next time maybe we'll see a little more growth here, and maybe we'll take you along on a project or two. So thanks for watching.